Hi and welcome to this video blog with me, Wayne, from swimmingcyclingrunning.com. Today we've moved to our library come music room. You can see I'm surrounded by books. And I did promise to tell you the books that I find invaluable, both as a coach and as a triathlete. So, shall we get down to business? Which books do I find the most useful in my coaching career? Well, I'm going to go in reverse order with this, and I'm going to start with running. And the main book I really love is Running, Biomechanics and Exercise Physiology Applied in Practice. And it's by Franz Bosch and Ronald Klump. It's just an absolutely super book that describes the biomechanics of running, and as a coach I think you go down one of two routes. You either take the incredibly technical route, a scientific route, and want every single session to be precisely controlled by power meters and heart rate monitors, or you initially go to have the view that what you need to get right first is technique in all that you do, and once the technique is there, then go on and train correctly. And that's really what this book does for me. It gets the technique absolutely right, and then we can take it forward from that point on. The book itself is beautifully illustrated throughout with pictures of both rights and wrongs. I'll give you some close-ups of this if I can. And here you see actually indications of poor running technique and arrows and descriptions of why that's poor running technique. The next page shows rotation, torsional and rotational forces in the running technique of the particular people. Throughout the book, it actually takes a single runner and explores their running technique right throughout the run. It's the only book I've actually found that does precisely that. And I found that incredibly useful when looking at other people and trying to compare them to what perfect technique should really be. It not only does that though, it actually also pictorially introduces drills, why they should be done, how they should be done, and what they're useful for. And there's a huge amount of drills within this book. You could practice drills from this book throughout your life and you'd just never get bored with them. They're exceptionally well presented, and each one has both a description and a reason for doing it. It's got all the technical information about muscle structures and the physiology of the run, even comparing humans to horses in their muscle structure. So it's exceptionally well thought out, exceptionally well researched, and of all the books I've ever owned, I think this one probably has done most, in my mind, to actually improve my coaching as a run coach as part of triathlon. Alright, so now let's move on to the cycle section of my book collection. There aren't many cycle books that investigate biomechanics, etc., but technique in bike handling is incredibly important. And the book, one of the books, I'm going to divide this into two, one of the books on cycling that I really like is Masterclass in Riding Techniques, and it's by Paul Hinton. He's a mountain biker. This isn't a road bike book, but in all that it does, it's relevant to road cycling. I mean, for example, this section here is on cornering, and it says once you know where you're going to exit the corner, you can begin to set the bike up so that it actually points at that point. It's important not to look at any other line other than the one you want to take. It may sound simplistic, but it's true that you steer where you look. Now, I've taught that to children and adults alike, going around tight turns. And having a book that goes through every single bit of skill on a bike, including some you don't need, is quite a useful thing going on here. This is about climbing and where you position your body on the bicycle to get maximum grip on the bike. It's very relevant to mountain bikers, but it's not irrelevant to the road cyclist that's you and I. And finally, you look here, this is a skill that mountain bikers tend to have. This is about controlling the bike in the air when you actually have to jump over something. Well, it doesn't happen a lot to a road cyclist that they have to jump over something, but I certainly do occasionally lift the bike up and jump whilst I'm riding along. And if you hit a big pothole, the ability to jump over it could actually save you a hell of a lot of problems. So yeah, there you go, Masterclass in Riding Technique by Paul Hinton. It's an older book, but it's exceptionally good. And then this particular book, Mountain Bike Maintenance and Repairs. The mechanics of a bike is fairly similar whether it's a mountain bike or a road bike. I have got road bike books about repairs, but the one thing you really want to be able to do when you get on your bike in the morning is you want to make sure that you get home. So even things like a puncture is quite important, that you understand what it is and how to get a puncture away. And even though this is a mountain bike book, the information on gearing and indexing your gears, changing your gears, making sure they're the right tension is incredibly useful. So I wouldn't rule it out. So 2 books. The first is about technique and controlling the bike in awkward situations, and the second one is about repair and maintenance of your bike. And if you can do that yourself, you're really halfway to getting home from absolutely anywhere in the world. Right, we're now on to the last part of the triathlon trilogy of sports, and we're on to swimming. And once again, I've chosen 2 books that really I wouldn't want to be without. One I picked up fairly recently, within the last year, and the other one I've had for a number of years, and it's probably in a new published form somewhere. Championship Swimming is the first one I'll show you. Bill Sweetenham and John Atkinson. Bill Sweetenham was the head coach of British Swimming for a time. And the good thing about this book is that it really does go through what you might want to do in terms of improving your stroke, in terms of getting a really good program together. And it's got a huge amount of sets for different types of things, for different qualities of swim, if you like. Let's just open this at the technique page. Okay, you might be able to see that. That says sculling. Now, a triathlete is likely to say, what do I need sculling for? But sculling as a skill is one of the basic skills in swimming that really helps you feel the water. And sometimes sculling in a month of swimming, or even a week of swimming, is well worth your while. And this actually goes through it and shows you how different sculls can go. So it's Bill Sweetenham, that's a head coach of British and Australian swimming, saying, hang on a second, you all should be sculling. I think probably you should listen to that. But one of the best things about this book is the fact that it does go through different sets and different intensities. I'll give you an example here. We've got a critical speed sample set, where you're actually trying to go at your critical speed. Adjusting that set, so if you find that something's going wrong with that set for any reason, how should I adjust it? So it's not just a set, it's saying, what if something goes wrong? And all good coaches, races, have always got a what if, just in case something doesn't particularly work. At the bottom there, lactate removal sets. So there's all different types of sets that you can put together from this book that actually will help you be a better swimmer and a faster swimmer. So that's an excellent book that I've picked up fairly recently. But the best book on swimming ever is this one, I believe. Swimming Fastest by Ernest Maglishko or Maglisho. I don't know how to pronounce it, but sure someone will tell me. It just is a comprehensive tome. You can see it's incredibly big. It goes through all the strokes. Obviously a triathlete wouldn't need that. But this diagram here are velocity diagrams about arms and leg kicks in the front crawl stroke. So it's going really deeply into every single stroke. Once again, I rather like pictures, fairly simple so. And this is a sequence showing the front crawl stroke, or both arms, going through a complete cycle. And that's how this book is actually aimed. It really does break everything down into its littlest form, its smallest form, and then investigates that and shows you why Ernest Maglishko thinks this is right or wrong. Now you could agree with him or disagree with him, but having a good basis like that is absolutely invaluable. Again, where he wants to show perfect technique, he might use diagrams. Yeah, so that's another way he goes at it. And even for a triathlete, the dreaded tumble turn in pictorial form. Now you can get all of this elsewhere, but to have it in one book is exceptionally useful. And as you can see, it's absolutely huge. It's bulging at the seams with information one way or another. Just a final example on this particular book. It even goes down to championship swimming, and this table here is stroke rates for successful swimmers at top level in every single discipline. So it goes from women's 50-metre freestyle right down to 200-metre butterfly and everything including IMs in between. So Ernest McGlishko, you can see it's a huge book. It goes into everything in great detail. So for some people, yeah, if you're not a coach, that probably is a bit much. But if you are a coach, I would suggest that that's probably the most invaluable book for swimming you'll ever be able to get. Okay, so that's it from me for this particular blog. Remember one thing, the books aren't there to actually tell you exactly how things are done. They give you a good indication of how things are done. And then it's up to you to think for yourself. Hello, dog. Nice to see you. Huh? You woken up? This is my dog Lisa. She's come for a little bit of a stroke. Yeah, there you go. So remember, you don't follow everything by rote. Question it. Question every single thing you see. I always do. If you don't question something, you're never going to test it. And you've got to test something to see if it actually is right. Come to your own conclusions. But use these books of experts, people who really know what they're doing, as a basis for testing your own theories. Okay, have a nice week. Next week, I'm going to show you some of the pool toys that I think are rather important and the best things that I would take to a pool. Thanks very much for watching.